Hello, everyone. So let us start for today's session. A very good evening and a warm welcome to today's webinar. I am Rajesh, Senior Manager at FPSB India, and I will be your host for today's session. First and foremost, I would like to sincerely thank each one of you for taking the time to join us today. This webinar is particularly special as we are celebrating a significant occasion, World Financial Planning Day. On behalf of the entire team of FPSB India, I would like to extend our best wishes to all of you for a very happy World Financial Planning Day. Today, we have a truly remarkable session lined up for you as we delve into shaping a financially empowered Viksit Bharat 2047. With our distinguished guest speaker, now I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the speakers and moderator for today's session. Trupti, can you please share the screen? We have a guest speaker, Mr. Swarup Mohanty, who is Vice Chairman and CEO of Mirae Assets Investment Managers India Private Limited. Mr. Swarup Anand Mohanty is the Vice Chairman and CEO of Mirae Assets Investment Managers India Private Limited, with career in spanning over 30 years in financial services, with a notable focus on asset management sales. Since July 2011, he has led Mirae Assets India's operation, showcasing visionary leadership amidst challenging market conditions. Mr. Mohanty holds a degree in PGDBM and BCom honors, and his influence extends beyond the boardroom as a member of SEBI Mutual Fund Advisory Committee and the Index Advisory Committee, Equity of NSE, Indices Limited. Beyond his corporate roles, Mr. Mohanty is an avid music enthusiast with a profound appreciation of vinyl records, advocating for their preservation and celebration, drawing parallels between his investment philosophy and his passion for music. He emphasizes the importance of patience and long-term vision, core principles that have driven assets success in India outside of work. Mr. Mohanty finds solace in travel and historical exploration, enriching his understanding of culture and heritage. In essence, Mr. Swarup Mohanty embodies the fusion of finance and art, leveraging his expertise to navigate the financial world while nurturing personal passions. As Mr. Mirae, as Mirae Assets Investment Managers thrives under his leadership, Mr. Mohanty multi-factor persona inspires other the blend professional success with personal fulfillment. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Krishan Mishra, who is CEO of FPSB India. Can you please change the slide? Yeah. Krishan Mishra, CEO FPSB India, is responsible for strategy, operations, and overall market development in India. He has got 20 plus years of versatile experience in strategizing business and operations at large in financial services and professional education space. He is known leader in the educational world, has also been awarded as one of the top 100 global leaders in the field of education by Global Forum of Education and Learning, PRISM Inc., USA. Over last 2 decades, he has headed the market development of various top global profession, education qualifications in India and various parts of the world. He has been very instrumental in helping them have a strong foundation in India and related growth of the markets. He grew up in a defense service family and has attended several schools across India. Before completing his MBA, International Business Studies from IIFT, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, and PGDBM from EDII, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad. He is also a chartered manager from Chartered Management Institute, UK. Now, I would like to introduce uh, Ms. Teena Rawal, who is Head of Strategic Alliances at FPSB India, and she will be moderator for the today's session. I would like to hand over to Teena Rawal so that we can proceed further for the today's session. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Rajesh, for the wonderful introduction of our brilliant panelists. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you for joining us in today's session on shaping a financially empowered Viksit Bharat 2047. As we all know, 2047 will mark 100 years of India's independence, and the vision for a Viksit Bharat or a developed India revolves around economic inclusivity, financial literacy, and strengthening of our financial systems. And today's webinar will focus on a range of topics from the importance of early financial planning to navigating markets volatility, as well as the best practices for securing a financially sustainable future. Our esteemed speakers will also highlight how financial planners play a crucial role in this journey, acting as a trusted advisors who help turn aspirations into reality. I am fortunate to have this opportunity of interacting with two of the distinguished leaders from the financial industry to share their insights on how we can achieve this vision today. To set the stage for the discussion, India has been making significant strides towards financial inclusion and economic growth. However, achieving a financially empowered Bharat by 2047 will require more than just progress. It will require transformation at multiple levels, from increasing financial literacy to making our financial systems more accessible and robust, so on and so forth. But before we deep dive into it, let's talk about World Financial Planning Day. It is not just about only celebrating or raising awareness on this day. It is about encouraging everyone, regardless of the age or income level, to take control of their financial future. Financial planning empowers individuals to face their life's challenges with confidence and provides a roadmap to achieve their aspirations. And therefore, we'll begin with some opening thoughts from you, Krishan, on the significance of World Financial Planning Day. Why do we celebrate it and how it helps people at large, and what footprints does it have globally? Over to you.
Teena, and I think I would like to thank Swarup ji for joining us today. First of all,
absolute pleasure. I should be thanking you for the opportunity.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you, sir. In fact, today is a very, very important occasion for all of us, wherein we are celebrating the 8th World Financial Planning Day. Now, just wanted to share some numbers and some data with you, that this profession of financial planning, which certified financial planner professionals play, it has been there for last 51 years. So we started this program in the year 1973, and it's a 51 years young profession. Why young? Because obviously our professionals need to keep themselves young. They need to carry that passion for you, that dedication for you, and ensure that they are able to get the right knowledge to give you the right service. In fact, financial planning particularly has always been seen as an area which is all for the people who are wealthy or for the richest. However, it is actually for everyone, all of us. And when I say all of us, it means that in case you have more money, you definitely need a certified financial planner professional. In case you don't have money, then also you need a good financial planner to help you prepare a good plan for yourself. Look at a tagline, live your today, plan your tomorrow. It means that whenever we talk about plans, plans are the blueprint for our future. And when we look at financial planning, it is not about managing just money. It is actually managing our lives. And when we talk about managing lives and our life goals, it is really very important for us to understand that our life goals have got an impact from finances, and that's why finance and plan, they go together hand in hand. And that's what we are looking forward to through this celebration, that yes, we celebrate it together and ensure that we're able to make people understand the necessity of financial planning in their lives and make India or the new Bharat a financially sustainable Bharat. What we say is that when we look at any economy around the world, if they say that we would like to be sustainable, it is really important for us to look at a bottom-up approach, wherein we look at each and every individual of this country to become financially sustainable. Because if one individual is sustainable, it means clearly that the family would be sustainable. And if the family is sustainable, society becomes sustainable. And if society is sustainable, economy automatically becomes sustainable. So our endeavor today through this event, through this session, as well as the celebration across the world, is to ensure that we make people understand the importance of it and ensure that they are able to get the right education to particularly face the difficult situations in life, right? Life is never a straight line, right? It is like ups and downs every time. And whether you're in a positive moment of life, Teena, or in a negative moment, you need the help of a good financial planner for your life. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about this topic today. Yeah.
Very well said, Krishna, and I totally agree with you. And thank you so much for letting us know of a broader idea as to why we celebrate World Financial Planning Day in a manner that we do, and also letting our CFP professionals know of our vision behind it. As we are about to touch 100 of the participants, I would like to come to you, Swarup, and to just kick things off, let's start with the broader picture. How do you envision a financially empowered Bharat in 2047, and what are the key pillars according to you we must focus on to reach the goal?
I think, first of all, thank you so much for thinking of me on such a very important day. I think by 2047, this will probably one of the most important recognized day amongst people. If that happens, then we will definitely conclude that financial literacy is on the rise. And while we talk about Viksit Bharat, I think the more important thing is Aksham Bharat. And if you concentrate on that, what Kishanji said is very important. And that's something which all of us must reflect on. From the lowest part of the pyramid to the topmost part of the pyramid, if everybody is financially free, it takes away a lot of burden from the country's, what can I say, power centers or policymakers to chart the growth of the country. It is automatically taken care of. While a lot of discussion is always done on the financial health of the country, very little discussion is done at a financial health of the individual. And this is why this day is so important. And once, like Kishanji rightly said, and there's too much more to just those 3-4 sentences that he talked about. If an individual is financially free, he or she is not dependent on anybody. Then the family becomes free, and it's just a spiral which then goes on to build the entire country. So the thought of everybody becoming financial free, I don't think our minds are yet attuned to just envisage what it will mean to the impact that will have on the society, the country, and life of people in just general. I think from a country perspective, we've started thinking that way, because first it would mean inclusivity of the entire country in the form of the path of movement of money. And that happened with kind of Jan Dhan accounts being introduced. Today, I can safely say that, most of the people in this country have a viable bank account through which they will then start transacting. That's the bottom of the pyramid. Then, I have this very interesting example. If you look at the journey of the country, in our younger days, and Kishanji is probably relate to what I say, he's still young, but in my younger days, we were talking about a country which was striving to provide roti, kapda, makan to people, right? And then today, the country that we are in the process of bijli, pani, sadak. I mean, today, that part, people have food, and now we have started getting into the amenities. But all this is set to change with what we call the JAM, the Jan Dhan account, right? Which now makes people a legitimate flat account. The Aadhaar, which is now identifying us biometrically, and both of this then connect us through the mobile phone. This then sets the tone for the infrastructure for the next part to start. And that, please understand, for a country our size is no mean feat. You can do that in smaller countries. With our kind of population, to reach this kind of penetration on these 3 accounts now makes us one of the best platforms for anything and everything to happen, not just financial inclusion, right? And that, add to that the demography that we are sitting in. 60% of world population under 30 now resides in our country. And again, I'll give you three different examples of my father, myself, and my son. My father operated in a very different financial environment, which was not exactly economically superior. There was struggle for ends to meet, right? Broad India, I'm talking about. My parents are teachers, so since both of them were working, we were okay. But one parent was a struggle. Let's be very honest on that, right? Then came my generation, which was the cusp generation between that and today's India. So we've seen both sides. But as I've seen my father's life, there is a certain amount of insecurity still in my life. So my approach to financial inclusion is still half-hearted. I'm talking about my generation. But come to my son. They are a different generation where they're economically superior. Their knowledge by virtue of the internet is second to none in the world. And because of this too, their risk-taking ability is very different. Hence, their approach to financialization at their own self will be totally different from these two generations. So mark my words, we are sitting at probably what we call in our terms, because I listen to a little bit of music, what we call the Spotify moment of the world, is that India is now set to break away from what it was in the past. And maybe we can continue talking about that. When you ask about what is required, the basic foundation that is required on the infrastructure is set. And probably as we start talking about financial planning and especially the financial planners, maybe we can discuss this a little bit more as we go along.
Thank you so much, Swarup. I think that broadly gives the perfect vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Krishan, I would come to you with that. What are your insights on the same? And then we'll move on to the next question, which is very much related to what we are already talking. But first, let us hear about it from you.
Thank you. I think Swarupji has very clearly mentioned about certain things which I very well resonate to. A couple of things. Obviously, previously we never had enough money which we used to earn to actually think about financial planning. Right? If you talk about people who were in 70s or 80s, they used to earn salaries in around hundreds. And then came 90s wherein we started talking about salaries in thousands. And then from there to 2001 onwards, we practically started talking about CTCs, cost to companies in lakhs. And then post-2020, which is post-COVID, they're talking about salaries in crores, which means disposable income for people is increasing. And if you look at the society also, we have been a society which used to earn money first and then worry where to spend. And we have become a society now which spends money first and then worries from where will I earn and repay. Right, so it has completely changed, and in fact, our generation, which is known as Generation X, I would say, so practically we have learned it the harder way because our parents never had access to such financial products. In fact, I have seen my dad buying a house after his retirement, right? So not before the retirement, and in fact, they used to look at buying cars or two-wheelers also at a very later stage, right? And because there were no access to loans, there were no access to mutual funds, stock markets, they were obviously afraid of because of the Harshad Mehta scam and everything, right? So practically no exposure to the markets. And then cut to look at our generation, we actually burnt our fingers, hands, everything in our body. And then we learned everything, right? And then Swarupji's son and my son, practically, they have an opportunity that they can learn from us, right? Because we have already done whatever we had to. We have gone wrong also. But those learnings can be given to the newer generation. And that's why the Gen Z is smarter than us. They are very smart. They have actually learned the importance of financial planning in their lives. And they are very vocal about their own financial positions. See, if you look at Generation X and Generation Y, they will never talk about their financial positions with everyone, whether they have more money or lesser money. Both ways, they will never discuss that. However, if you look at the younger generation, they're very loud about their budgeting principles. They're very loud about how they are managing their finances. In case they don't have money, they don't shy away from telling people that I don't have money. And it is about understanding those symptoms in life and talking to the financial doctor. Because in case you have symptoms related to health, you go to a doctor. In case you have got symptoms related to your own financial position, it's better to go to a financial doctor rather than trying the same on your own. However, India has seen that transition, and I think in the last couple of years, people have started understanding the importance of this financial doctor, who is a CFP professional, a certified financial planner professional. Because see, it is not only about, Teena, that we prepare those plans. It is more about execution of the plan and being with the clients throughout their lives. And I can very well say this thing very, very profoundly, that our CFP professionals will never leave the hands of their clients or their customers, because they always keep the client's benefit in mind before they go ahead and talk about anything. So practically what has happened is we have seen in our researches also, people who are going to the right people for the advice, they are able to manage their lives better. People who do not go to the right people for advice, they go through struggle. And I think the markets, from the time they have opened up, practically a lot of people have burned their fingers, hands, and whatnot. So I think the time has come, and I think, as rightly mentioned by Swarupji, this is the time when India has actually decided to move ahead. People have started talking about it. People have started understanding the importance of financial planning in their lives. In fact, interestingly, we might be educated, the challenge is that Bharat right now is not financially educated. And our job is to ensure that we make everyone in this country financially educated. Yeah.
Very well said, Krishan and Swarup. Thank you so much. And that sets the perfect tone for the next question to move on. We spoke about all of it, and now it's time that we think or ponder upon financial planning is a critical aspect of building a financially empowered nation. So what role do you think that financial planning and financial planners will play in, shaping a financially inclusive India? And also, how can we ensure that it reaches all the segments of the society, especially in the rural areas, and particularly in the field of security and financial markets? Then perhaps I would come to you to take this one first, Swarup.
Yeah, I think, very pertinent question which is very close to my heart, because if you go to my Twitter profile, it does say that I'm a very sad equity seller, because I've been talking about equities for 30 years in my life, and people have not yet heard me is where I come from. But as I said in the first question, things are set to change, because one of my favorite questions that I ask in all investor meets and all planner meets is that, what is more important to you, health or wealth? Invariably people look at me smiling and say health is very important, but in their mind is wealth. Okay. That's the reality. And it's very important that in their mind there is wealth. As Krishanji rightly said earlier, talking about money was considered to be bad. Okay. People who talked about money were not considered, in our part, I come from the East, were not considered, elite enough and all that, because paisa tha hi nahi. So that was probably the guys are doing it. So first and foremost, wealth is more important, is something which is being talked about. That is most important. The second question I tell all investors, and I say that in your life, the most important thing is your financial plan or your financial goal, right? And the person who takes you to that the financial goal is the star of your life, right? That is what you want to achieve. And the person who takes you to that financial goal is the rock star. That is where the planners come in. It is never about earning money. You can earn tons of money and not have anything left at the end of the day. A planner, because it's a professional and it's a professional job, and I did a session on Saturday on this, where I was trying to explain to a room full of investors that the first job is to decide your goal. Then comes assessing your risk, and risk assessment is different for different people. From that, you'll probably figure out with the money you have whether your goal is tangible or not. That can be ascertained by a planner only. If your goal is achievable, then you put a financial plan which leads to an asset allocation. From the asset allocation comes the mutual fund. We are step number 5 or 6. The real hero is something else. You want me to be the hero, I'll become the hero. But if you make me the hero, you're not going to achieve anything. And then after that, once you put that investment in place, this is where the planner becomes even more important. Because the most important of this entire process is your review and your rebalance. That is easier said than done by an individual. But if you leave it to a planner, the planner then continuously plans it at a requisite time and completes you or takes you to that goal. And when do you redeem? You redeem on the day you achieve your goal. Take that money, go and live a life which you want to live. That is how you make your investments tangible to your life. Some people say we want to create wealth. Fine, define that wealth. If you tell the planner that this much wealth you want to create, the planner will give you a plan. So every time in my sentences, just think how many times the planner has come in that word. More than the investor, the important person is the planner. I think first and foremost, the planners have to realize their importance. That they can run somebody else's life. That is the power. And they are running the wealth side of a person. Long time ago, when we were starting off, and I was wondering people will invest or not, a boss of mine had told me the growth in EMI will lead to growth of your industry. Tabhi the person will start differentiating between need and want. Right? Now, people at a basic level do not have an income expense statement. How many people do it? So once the planner comes in, the planner has the power to change the entire life cycle of a person. And no wonder it is one of the most sought after professions worldwide. As we embark on this journey, and some amount of it is happening. Let me give you one small example. In 2014, if you look at the financial data of individuals, there is a distinct shift already between what the pension they used to have to equity to mutual funds to the amount of current account they used to have. Saving account money has started dropping. The bank FD money has started dropping, though I thought it should have gone up because the rates were good. The dependence or considering insurance as investments is also started happening. So the use of money efficiently by things like these sessions or a lot of people educating is already happening. In the last 10 years, we've seen a distinct shift. And this, with more of planners coming into the market, the shift can be even more dramatic is where it's happening. So by the next 10 years, when we look at this data, it will look very different is my submission. I'm happy that I'm seeing it before the end of my before I retired. I had thought that I will probably see it after my retirement.
Thank you so much. Just in case our CFP professionals missed on to hearing that, first and foremost, what Swarup mentioned, first and foremost, the planners need to understand their own importance. And that is for all of you all to take away. Very well said, Swarup. Thank you so much. And with that, I come to you, Krishan. What's your take on ensuring, financial planning becomes more widespread in India at large?
Thank you, Teena. And I think Swarupji, with retirement, you ended. However, in my view, retirement is not the end of the road.
No.
It's
I
the
had
start.
thought I would not see this change in India before my retirement. I'm seeing it today. I'm so happy.
Correct. And I think it's about the start of a new highway for all of us, because then we play the second innings in our lives. But yes, I think when we look at the financial education as a whole in our country, what we have seen is that with the advent of the efforts being put in by everyone, from the regulators to the government to the academicians and universities, business schools around, as well as the corporates like Mirae sets, they have been doing a lot of work in terms of investor education, etc. What has happened is apparently the knowledge towards investments, insurance, and all these areas have gone up. However, what is really very important is that people have to understand the holistic financial planning for their life. I know knowledge towards investor education is growing for people at large. A lot of people have attended those sessions and it has been really helpful. Insurance knowledge is growing and people have started understanding the importance of term plans rather than thinking that insurance is more about investment. And practically, people have now started thinking about national pension scheme and the other retirement products which are available in the market. However, one area which has been neglected for a long time, which is estate planning, which actually practically talks about your inheritance and future legacy. I think it has been a missing area, and I'm sure with the efforts of all the people around the country, and especially the CFP professionals, this is going to change. So now the CFP professional, as rightly mentioned by Swarupji, they have a role to play in all the areas from investments to insurance, to retirement, to estate planning, and beyond that too. Right. And when we say beyond that, it is practically about the life goals. And interestingly, our life goals as such that they keep on changing, they keep on moving. They are not at all fixed. With the age and increase in income, every time you'll have a different kind of a goal in front of you. And whatever you do, you will need the support of the right people in your lives. So the role of a CFP professional, in my view, is more towards educating people at large. And if you start educating people to understand the importance of finances in their lives, your importance automatically goes up, right? Because you are trying to make the entire country inclusive. And that's the goal of obviously the Prime Minister, that's the goal of the Finance Minister, the regulators, everyone, that we are able to touch the lives of each and every individual in this country. Once we touch them, we will be able to create that impact. And practically, as Swarupji said, his parents have been teachers. I think the profession of financial planning is a very, very noble profession. And all the certified financial planner professionals should think that, yes, they are in the noble profession, which is quite similar to a doctor or a teacher's profession. And they should actually go ahead and impact the lives of people and families. Think about it. One individual supported will be able to help the entire family. I'll quote a small example here today, and you spoke about the rural areas. I'm in Mirzapur near Varanasi today to celebrate the World Financial Planning Day. So I'll be speaking to people here. I decided to travel to this location to meet the local people, the certified financial planner professionals. Because obviously we do it in Mumbai, we do it in Delhi, we do it in Bangalore, but we should do it somewhere in the rural areas. And today I'll just quote a small example. One of the certified financial planner professionals told me one thing, that during COVID, one of his clients just called him and said that, can you come and meet me? And he said, what happened? And the person said that 95% of my respiratory system is gone. I don't know whether I'll survive or not. But as and when the doctor told me that you might not survive, the first person's name which came to my mind was yours, because you are my financial planner. And you know everything about my finances. Now I'm concerned about my family's life. And this guy said that, okay, he started crying himself, the professional. And he said that, don't worry, I will pray to God, you'll be fine. He prayed, and obviously this guy could recover with 95% respiratory system had fallen. Yeah, and he recovered and he's doing well. I met that person today. So it's amazing to see such kind of stories. And these stories you might not hear in the bigger cities. You hear about such stories when you come to the local places. And that's about inclusivity. And I'm sure these people are doing a tremendous job of helping people day in, day out, in whatever place they are, whatever situation they are. So hats off to the certified financial planner professionals family today. I think we need to celebrate the efforts and dedication and passion they show towards this profession.
How amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that inspiring story with us, Krishan. And thank you so much, Swarup, for your inputs. And also highlighting the neglected areas like retirement planning and estate planning and so on. Thank you so much for that. With that, move on to the next area, which is my personal favorite, the role of technology. I know the question is really very common these days and practically being asked in all the panel discussions that are there. But interestingly, I have found out that, every single person or every single person who is there in the panel will have a different thought and take upon the impact of technology. And that is why I'm more excited, and I'm sure our CFP professionals are equally excited to hear from both of you. As we look towards to 2047, the technology will undoubtedly play a transformative role in the financial sector. How do you see the role of technology evolving to empower the individuals financially, and what are the potential challenges that we need to navigate, especially from the perspective of our CFP professionals? So, Krishan, would you like to go ahead first this time?
Okay, thank you, Teena. And I think it's a very simple story from Industry 1.0 to Industry 5.0. Industry 1.0 said that, okay, we need to automate. Yeah, we need to have machines to do the work which humans do. And when we move towards 2.0, ITK, information technology, importance of data, all these things came in front of us. And 3.0 was towards the technological advancements which came. And practically artificial intelligence came in those days only. In fact, artificial intelligence was invented in the year 1956. So it's not very young. It's quite old in that way. However, anything which is artificial. It cannot take over the human mind. And then what happened is we moved towards chat GPTs of the world and everything, the generative AI and everything in Industry 4.0. Do you know what's happening in 5.0? So practically Japan was the country which started talking about machines. And Japan is the country which is now talking about human emotions and human values in Industry 5.0. And practically, we have moved from machines to automation to IT to AI and blockchain and everything towards the human emotions and human relations. And this is what we are made of, right? And ultimately, any technology, whatever technology comes, it is about embracing that technology, using it for our benefit, but it will not have any other impact other than easing our jobs, right? So it will ease out our jobs. Practically, we'll be able to do our jobs better because all the mundane work, the basic work will move to these robots or softwares who are available in our country. The good thing is that these robots can practically do everything 24/7, 365 days a year without asking for a salary or a salary hike, right? Without asking for any kind of a tea break or a coffee break, or in case people smoke, a smoke break also. They will not ask for any kind of leaves. But then, yes, they can produce data as and when we want. We should know how to ask the right question, and the data would be provided to us. However, what these robots or softwares can't do is to take the decisions for us. Right? Robo advisory has been present since last, I would say, 13 years. 2011 it came. Do you think it has impacted the lives of the CFP professionals? Yes, it has. It has impacted positively. See, understand this, that technology will enlarge our job. Our jobs will evolve. We need to know the technology. People, if they don't know the technology, then they won't be in the jobs or in the careers. People who will be able to embrace the technology, they are the ones who will remain in the industry and who will be able to support the client. See, it is about embracing learning. And sometimes if you have learned something which is not right, unlearn and move on and relearn. Right? Keep on learning. Don't stop learning. It is really very important. A lot of us, what we do is that whatever we have learned during the MBA days, and we think that, oh, now my job is done. Whatever I've done in my CFP course, everything is done. Now I need not learn. Time has come for us to understand that every year we need to upgrade, because when you look at the mirror at the end of the year, it should show you a better face, right? So it should not be that, okay, you feel that, feel ashamed of yourself that I do not know this. See, I've seen a lot of people getting worried with changes in the mobile phone technology. But the time has come, we embrace it, use it as a tool. So understand, technology is just a tool. It is not a replacement to the humans, because human mind is more powerful than any other technology. We are the ones who have made this technology. Yeah, so that's my take. Yeah. Over to you, Teena.
Thank you so much, Krishan. That's a very different and unique perspective. Before I come to you, Swarup, to the audience, I have a request. I am sure you will have a lot of questions for Swarup and Krishan as well. We will take all the questions towards the end of the session. We are almost in the middle or towards the second half of our conversation with these experts. Please, type in your questions in the chat box, and we will address them towards the end of this session. And with that, Swarup, I would come to you. What is your take on the role of technology in the whole picture?
Yeah, I think technology, like Kishanji rightly said, is a means. It depends on how you look at it. But I have this view that anything that tech can do, the man has to do better to survive. Otherwise, the tech will take over, right? I mean, I firmly believe that India is a very interesting or unique country because we are very emotional people. We will prefer to transact through technology, but advice we will take physically. So all transacting platforms will move to technology. There is no doubt or debate. For me, life changed the day my wife was buying vegetables online. Okay, I never thought I would see that day because people said, "Na, wo sabji ko parakna padta hai," types. But now not only is that norm of life, but things are coming to my house in 10 minutes time, right? I don't want it in 10 minutes, but aa raha hai to main le raha hu. So all transactions will move to the technology side. So for us to figure, we have to do something more, and that is what differentiates between a person who's transacting oriented and a person who's planning oriented. Like Kishanji rightly pointed out, planning is very individual in nature. It is not a common code which can be written for everybody at the back end. Every person's financial life is different. Every person's risk profile is different. And that financial life changes with life stages. That risk profile changes with life stages. When we start this profession, whether we as manufacturers or you as planners, we think it is a return generating process. As we mature, we realize that it is a risk mitigation process. And the closer the portfolio or the outcome of where I put my money is, to my risk profile, the better my investment journey. That is very difficult. I repeat, that is very difficult for a single code to uniformly put for everybody. It needs an individual intervention. And that is where planners will be different from transactors. Right? That, again, I keep on repeating. Planners have to be very aware of where their role is. The great Robert Kiyosaki has said that the investor is never risky. The advisor is risky. Right? And that's where things change. And if we just look at this difference and see the power that we bring to the table, it can be an enabler. It should be treated as an enabler. The amount of mundane work that we used to do, filling up forms and all, that can be done through technology. Right? But yes, there is this big thing lurking behind, because now we are trying to incorporate some amount of AI in our business. What that can do will be also very interesting to flow. Now, again, I give out one of my favorite observations in life, and I try to practice that myself, is a good footballer is where the ball is. A great footballer is where the ball will be. Now, all this is already happening around you. You have to imbibe all that, learn a little bit, and be ahead of the curve, where you put in your value. And your value, like the example Kishanji said, is where the planner comes in. So those people who think technology can ruin their lives will probably get ruined. But those people who think they will make it an enabler and a means to enhance their own self will only do very well. I'll give you a small example. When this direct plan came in the mutual fund thing, all distributors felt they were finished. At that point of time, and there is still this feeling that, mutual funds want this business through direct. But while this business is and will always remain a business of advice, when this direct plan came, the amount or the share of individual MFDs was 16% of industry AUM. 10 years later, that share is now 25%. So there would be probably people who go to direct, then I've realized that, the risk-taking ability is not there, would then come back. And finally, I've realized the importance of outsourcing this. My basic learning of running a mutual fund business for over 20 years is, leave the job to a specialist. If I knew direct stocks, I could do it myself. But if that is available at 2.25 cost, might as well give 2.25 and let somebody else do whose job it is. Similarly, your power comes in communicating that. So again, I repeat, and I'm sorry if I have to be a little curt in this thing. So people who feel technology will ruin them will get ruined. Mark my words on this. People who treat that as an enabler and use it as a tool will only double or triple or make their business 10 times from here by making that an efficient part of their business.
Very well said, Swarup. Thank you so much. Indeed, technology can help you support, ease your work, but the personal touch, the emotional touch that this profession, that is core to the profession, that is something that technology can never take away from us. And marking the words again, investors are not risky, planners could be. With that, we move on to our next question, and that would be us nearing towards the end of our discussion with the experts today. I would like to ask both of you one final question. If there's one key message or action point to, you would want the financial institutions, the policymakers, the individuals, and, CFP professionals to take away from this discussion about shaping a financially empowered India by 2047, what would it be? And who would like to go first this time? I won't name.
The practitioners, Kishanji, should start, and then probably I'll ask from him an answer.
Very well said. Krishan, we would come to you.
Yeah. No, so I think it's very clear. The takeaway for all of us is more about understanding the importance of financial planning in our lives. And in fact, time has come wherein the education system should start thinking about introducing the personal finance related topics in schools and colleges and universities, in management curriculums, etc. In fact, not only management, I would say whether you are pursuing medicine, you're pursuing engineering, you might be doing veterinary sciences, agriculture, fashion designing, hotel management, whatever you do, financial planning is something which is core to your life. So this is something which we need to understand, that we may come from any walk of life and we may think about any business in this world, right? Whether you're running a temple or a factory or maybe a MNC organization like Mirae sets, right? Practically, you need a financial planner in your life. And this is really very important because otherwise the organizations cannot prosper. Teena, if you look at the global Fortune 500 companies, they make lesser money from their core businesses now and more money from their investment income. And that's what clearly states the importance of financial planning in the lives of those 500 organizations. And in the similar way, all of us, whether individual or corporates or wherever we are, it is important that we understand the importance of this and implement the same for our own benefits. Most of us, we neglect it. We think that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. And if you don't plan for your tomorrow, then obviously tomorrow starts planning for your today. And it can impact you in your future very well. So time has come. We realize this and start moving towards a better, I would say, a stronger life, wherein we are not worried or concerned about our finances. We know that everything would be taken care of. We are not worried about our families, that, okay, when we are not there, who will take care of the financial position for my family? And so for that, you have the right instruments, right people available, and take the advantage of that and move ahead. Don't stop yourself from doing it, and don't think about tomorrow. Think about today and then plan for your tomorrow. That's really very important.
Thank you so much, Krishan. And what could have been the better advice from both of you towards the end of the session? With that, we are very much in time.
Swarup ji has to speak.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I think Kishan ji has put out some very important points. I'll just leave behind some basic thoughts. I personally believe that, if you've done something right in your previous janams, you are reborn to do this job. Because please understand, ours is a fiduciary role. People trust us with their hard-earned money. And people don't trust their family members with their money. That's the reality. But that's where you are positioned. So understand your role as the fiduciary nature. And when you approach doing this job, approach it in a way to give back. Right? And if you do good, and imagine you are going to earn money by doing good for people. How many people can talk about these jobs? Krishanji talked about us being doctors. I don't agree with that, because today money is more important than personal health. If I can stretch being unhealthy for a few years, no problem. I can't stretch without money for a few days. That's the reality. So our job in any person's life is far more than any doctor today. That's where we stand, right? And think about it. You're going to make your life or earn money by doing good for people. There is no better job than this. If you understand this and start doing good for people, just start calculating how many goals you're achieving for people. What will come back to you will be multiple, right? This is just the job satisfaction of seeing somebody getting a car through your plan, or the child going for education through your plan, is second to none in the world. You will get such incredible, what can I say, dua is the right word in Hindi. And which profession gives you that? So the pride of the job is what is the best part of our work. If you keep that as number one in your future career, a lot can happen. And more important, people will achieve incredible happiness in their lives because of you. So, it's a God-sent profession. Think of it that way, and a lot can happen in your lives.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Swarup. I have never heard, somebody explaining the importance of financial planners in such a manner. It is so emotional. I am sure everybody who is listening to you today, whether they are present on this call or whether they would be listening to the recordings which will be available, I'm sure everybody would be touched, will feel pride and take pride in the work that they do. Thank you so much for those words. I think that was the perfect finish to end the Q&A from my end. However, we do have a lot of questions coming from the audiences. We are aware that you and Krishan both have a hard stop at 7, so we will try to address as many questions as we can take in the meantime. There's the first question that I can't stop but asking you. And it says, so Kumar Appan asks and wants to know about the employment opportunities at Mirae for CFP professionals.
Yes, I mean, as you all know, we have tied up with each other for promoting CFP. So as a result, we are big proponents of CFP professionals, not only within our organization, outside the organization. I would really request Kumar to send the resume to us and we'll come back to you with a fitment. I mean, no better professionals than CFPs to be part of us. And if you can find a way of working together, I'll be very happy. So if I can get the resume, I'll then discuss with HR and come back. Or you can, I mean, Teena, if you can collect the resume and send it to me, I'll be very thankful.
I'll do the needful. Sure. Thanks, Swarup. Krishan, you would want to add on our association with Mirae and in terms of upskilling the existing employees as well as providing the talent for Mirae?
I think Swarup ji has already mentioned that. I don't have much to say there. But yes, it's a very good mutual relationship, mutually beneficial relationship, wherein we would like the staff of Mirae to obviously get upskilled with the CFP certification. And then obviously Mirae has also committed that they would be looking at hiring our people. And we together will ensure that we uphold this profession and look forward to advocating about this. And you have seen Swarup doing it for us today. So thank you, Swarup, for taking our time and doing it for us. Yeah.
No, I said what I thought is right. I am not trying to.
I agree.
This is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
If anybody argues that I'm wrong, I'm ready to
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope, Apan, that answers your question. The next anonymous attendee has written a question to us that says, may we know a correct platform for keeping updated ourselves about government policies time to time to make plans? And do we have any platform to have all the info at one place? I'm assuming it is all about financial planning perspective.
So I think for financial planning, it is a good idea for you to keep on subscribing to the LinkedIn and the other pages that FPSB India has, as well as the FPSB Limited has. FPSB Limited will keep on throwing a lot of information about the global advancements, and FPSB India will give you a lot of information about what's happening locally in our market. And we will also be ensuring that we keep on coming up with regular CPD-related programs, which will give you more information about what's happening around you. So continued professional development, keep on looking at the CPD courses which are coming up, and we'll ensure that you have a regular update on this area. In fact, for the curriculums also, we keep on upgrading it as per the advancements which are happening, whether on the regulatory side or the compliance side. So for the students too, this is being taken care of. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Krishan. Next question, and I would route this question to you, Swarup, and Satyajit asks, with the increasing emphasis on sustainable investing and ESG factors, how can financial planners effectively integrate these into long-term financial strategies? How do we ensure that these socially responsible investments align with clients' financial goals without compromising on return or risk management?
Yep. It's a very interesting question. And when I started reading about ESG, what I talked about financial planning is very common to ESG also. I mean, you can make money by doing good. That's that in India that does not go together. So it'll probably take some time for people to understand that you're doing something good and yet making money. Yeah, that is what ESG is all about. And when you look at ESG globally, it has been promoted on two accounts. One, the regulator has made necessary changes. I mean, if you see in India, we've now backed by the environment and our regulator to launch ESG funds. I think some amount of chatter and discussions will happen more on ESG as we speak. And then the other part, and that's true about any industry, the regulator might come in and make some changes, or the underlying, that is the investor and the planners, demand ESG. That I would like to invest in companies which are doing good for the society. Right? That's what changed everything in Europe. Probably they were impacted more by climate, so they reacted first. As that happens, that will start getting into the Indian way of investing. I have no doubt or debate on that on the long run. Maybe in the short run, when returns are different from different perspectives, people get a little dissuaded. But this is a power which, the idea whose power cannot be undermined. And as we speak, at Mirae, I said we are great proponents of ESG at a portfolio level. At sometimes we are accused of underperforming a bit because there is that much you can take in some of the non-ESG stocks, but we are very wary of that, and we'll continue to build more ESG-centric portfolios. Normally in the ESG, we are the only ESG passive in the market. We're the first ESG fund to launch on the passive side, but not only the passive, on the active side also, we do take the ESG score in the final, recommendation of screen, at least in the core portfolios. But from your perspective, the choice is yours. If you are beginning to incorporate ESG very early at this moment, I'll really, be thankful to you, because you cannot again dissuade the fact that it's something which is good, and socially responsible companies need to be propagated more.
Thank you so much. I hope that answers the question. And with that, there is one question, and I would like to take this up. How will the new SEBI RIA revised regulations benefit CFP professional?
Yeah. So, Teena, I think it's not about only CFP professionals. These regulations, though, have not been implemented yet. But just wanted to share that it's opening up for everyone. In case you are just a graduate or a postgraduate, you can start becoming a RIA. There is no other thing which is being asked for. There were so many requirements which were there previously. Those requirements have been waived off. So whether a CFP professional or any other professional people can become RIA. One thing, just to understand that RIA is mainly to focus on investment advisory. And as a CFP professional, you do various other things other than just the investment advisory. So practically, knowing this and having a license is always good in case you would like to sell the product. In case you are interested in just giving consultancy to the client and supporting the client, then there is no need for you to separately take that license. To keep that license, what you have to do is that, first of all, to take the license, you have to go for 10A, 10B exam, and then obviously keep on renewing by either writing the 10A, 10B, or in 3 years, I think they have proposed for a CPD also now, which can be a gap or a additional learning kind of a program, which NISM is going to propose. One information that NISM is also our partner now, and NISM and FPSB India together will be jointly introducing some courses on financial planning very soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Krishan. And if you both permit, I will take one last question and then we will wrap it. We still see, like, in estate planning, how can we improve that? So basically, let me make it more, towards all those areas and fields which are neglected when it comes to financial planning. How can we fix that?
Yeah. So I think it is always good for a CFP professional to learn during the course itself, and later on also keep on getting more knowledge about this area. This area is upcoming. It's growing very, very fast, and it should be part of your portfolios because you have to help the clients. I can just quote one example here, that 70% of the civil cases in our courts today are because of not doing estate planning. And if we are able to help our clients in doing the right estate planning, helping them to make their own trusts, etc., and then preparing for a will, because you might mention somebody's name as a nominee, and if you have not mentioned the same in the will, it is very difficult for the person to claim the money. So it is always important for you to give this knowledge and information to your clients and keep on learning about newer things. I can tell you that estate planning is very common in US, in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, majority of the larger developed countries, and it would be a very good idea for you to get that knowledge from there. In fact, we will be bringing some of the CPD related courses with our partners from Australia, Canada, and US for you very, very soon. So it's already a part of our agenda. I just thought of sharing that.
Yeah, I think what Kishanji said is very important. I think more than estate planning, the court cases are because of a lack of a will.
Yeah,
I think I've seen enough families where on the deathbed, the fight for the property starts. And estate planning is not about 5-6 houses. It can be about that one house itself, right? So it's a very integral part of every person's finance. Everybody in India, maybe the next generation may not, at least in my generation, aspires to have at least one house. So when you look at a composite financial plan, that becomes a very important part of closing the entire loop, and it starts with writing a will. So maybe will planning is more important than estate planning. So, and they go hand in hand.
Very well said. Thank you so much. With that, we come towards the end of the session. And thank you so much, both of you, for taking out time and sharing your thoughts on such an important topic. What a wonderful session it has been. We have not just discussed about the importance of financial literacy, financial planning, but technology, some frameworks, professional CFP professionals' contribution towards it, and the collective efforts required to shape the financially empowered India by 2047. It's clear that while there are some challenges, but the opportunities are equally rather more. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to continuing this important conversation as we work together towards the Viksit Bharat. And with that, I hand it over to you, Rajesh. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Teena. I have to even say that after listening to all this so carefully, I have gained a lot of knowledge today, and I'm sure all attendees have gained the same. And now I would like to take this opportunity to extend a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Swarup Mohanty and Mr. Krishan Mishra for sharing such insightful perspectives with us. Your contribution to the industry are truly inspiring, and we are grateful to have had the chance to learn from both of you today. A special thanks to my colleague, Teena, for moderating this session so effectively. Your guidance helped shape a meaningful and engaging discussion. I would also like to thank my colleague Himani for organizing this event, and once again express my deep appreciation to our CEO, Krishan Mishra, for his continuous guidance and visionary leadership. Last but not the least, a big thank you to our audience for being with us. Your participation makes these sessions impactful and successful. As we conclude now, I would like to remind everyone that this webinar will remain a valuable resource for your professional development. It will be uploaded to the FPSB India YouTube channel for your reference. CFP professionals will have the opportunity to earn one CPD point once the webinar is uploaded to your LMS portal within the next 2 weeks. It will also be available on our official YouTube channel shortly. Thank you once again for joining us. Wishing you all a very wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Swarupji. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Swarup. Thank you, Krishan. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening and festive time.
Thank you.